Welcome to the Forum at Holy Communion, a long-standing conversation about faith, life, justice, arts, culture. Each week, we will premiere a conversation on our channels, and then on the following Sunday, we join in the conversation with Q&A and a chance to engage on the topic. We're so glad you have joined us.
Welcome to Holy Communion's Forum. I'm Julie, one of the priests here, and today we're talking about Ashes to Go. Ash Wednesday is March 2nd, and this is a ministry that was started back in 2004, I believe, in the Episcopal Church, but Holy Communion hasn't done it. And so I have two people that back in California, where in my previous congregation, St. Paul's Burlingame, we ventured out right before COVID in March or somewhere in there, 2019, to try and do Ashes to Go. So with me is Bill Phillips and Peter Shanholt, lay leaders at the church. And if you'll say just a little more about yourself and what you think Ashes to Go are. Bill, would you start us off? Sure.
I'm a parishioner here at St. Paul's Church. I was on the vestry for a few years, and one of the big programs that we pushed forward as I was leaving the vestry was the welcoming ministry. And our job was to deepen connections within our church, but also broaden connections in the community. And Ashes to Go launched from there, and we'll talk more about that as we go along.
Great, thank you.
And I'm Peter Shanholt, also a parishioner at St. Paul's, served on the vestry with Bill. And as he mentioned, as we started to turn and look a little bit at taking our ministry outward focusing and bringing our ministries to the people where they are, Ashes to Go fit beautifully into just kind of the notion of a little more focus on outreach, a little bit more focus on welcoming and connecting with people in our geographic area. And Ashes to Go filled that bill beautifully.
Right. So what is Ashes to Go? If someone were to ask you, I'm getting asked that, and I'm like, well, what is it?
Ask very simply. It is taking on Ash Wednesday, going out into the community and offering a blessing and the imposition of ashes to passersby. It is just placing yourself out there in the public square and seeing if people want to have the imposition of the ashes. It's that simple. It's not a great, big, complicated thing. Peter?
A big part of it is just a sign that says Ashes to Go, because that in and of itself literally stopped people in their walking and just said, some of them knew immediately and said, that's so cool, I've never seen that. Others stopped and said, what is it? In both cases, it opened opportunities for conversations, and that was tremendously valuable.
Yeah. So I remember that there were some powerful times of encountering people. It's like this, it's not the sacrament like bread and wine, but it is a prayer ritual to begin Lent that is even more accessible. People want to start Lent, if they know that. It seems to be a little more common knowledge about Lent and giving up chocolate, but also just a chance to come and be prayed over, and the sign of starting again or returning to God. And I was blown away at how people were so vulnerable and came forward and asked for that, whatever it meant to them. We didn't need it to mean anything but what was between them and God. So remember.
Yeah, I really felt that as well. And there seemed to be like a spectrum of people that we connected with. It went from people who were saying, what is this about? And I would say most people who didn't really know just kind of thought, oh, that's really interesting, but just didn't really cross the line over. They thought they just got the information and gone. And then it was swept all the way to the other side where people knew exactly what this was about and were really grateful that we were there to provide this blessing and this start to the Lent. And it really struck me that it was, we weren't soliciting people or anything like that. We were just there. And most people were at this end of the spectrum who were saying, oh, I know what, yeah, I forgot this is Ash Wednesday, and this is wonderful that you're here. And oh, I'm Catholic, but is it okay? Because I want to be a part of this. This is important to me as well. And even some people who said, oh, thank you for reminding me, I'm going to go to my church and have the imposition of the ashes. And we said, oh, that's great, God bless you. So it was a range of people that we connected with.
Yeah.
So we chose to do this at the local commuter train station for folks taking the train into San Francisco for their work, right across, and the train station is across the street from a very popular donut shop. So there's a lot of foot traffic where we set up, and also room for us to set up. But I think because it was relatively early in the morning, we had a lot of people who were very grateful because they said, I just don't know if I'm going to get home in time to go to my church. So there was a certain element where the convenience was the source of the gratitude. And there were other times when folks just said, I know about Easter and I know about Lent, but I haven't participated in years. And this was a re-entry point. And then the third group was just folks who said, I would appreciate any prayer I can get right now. It wasn't so much, it certainly wasn't Episcopal based. I'm not even sure it was Christian based. It was just, you know what? This is something good I need in my life right now. And it was a really kind of an entry, not even a re-entry, just an entry point again. And the reactions we got were far stronger than I ever anticipated. The gratitude was real, the friendship was real, the joy was real. It was quite remarkable.
Yeah, it was positive. I was a little, we'd never done it before, so I had some trepidation going, a little nervous. I'm not sure what the response was going to be like, but it was just friendly. It was just a really positive experience. We, as Peter said, we set up near the train station, so there was elbow room. So if people wanted to walk on by, there was a lot of room. They didn't have to interact with us if didn't want to, and people would gravitate towards us with a smile if they wanted to either ask a question or participate. So as a result, there was no thank you, no thank you. There was no negativity. It's just people who wanted ashes to go were there and just approached you, and it was really great. And I think that's why picking a good spot is important. You want some foot traffic, but you also want elbow room so that you're not looking like you're trying to pull people towards this moment. Like you want people coming to you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Julie, go ahead.
No, I think, Peter, you were going to offer that of what, you said foot traffic, location. So it's going to guide us into, well, what stuff? I mean, what does this look like when you're standing there?
So we had, Bill had made us a very nice sandwich board, basically that kind of had ashes to go. There it is, right there. And then Julie had the ashes. She had burned the palm fronds and had a mortar and pestle and had that filled with the ashes. And Bill and I were, I'm not going to say it right, but in what to me looked like choir robes. We had a little small handout, a quarter page printed handout. On one side, it had a prayer that they could take with them. On the other side, it basically described St. Paul's Episcopal Church in Burlingame, because we had we had three types of people we interacted with. Folks who said, hey, that's really clever, that's fun, see ya. We had folks that said, I've never seen this before, and they accepted our handout. And there were folks who said, may I please get blessed. So we had something for everyone, whether it was just a wave and friendliness or a handout, that because people said, what church is this?
Mhm.
And we discovered that people knew physically where the church was, mostly by the color of the church. It's kind of a pink church. So it was a great way of getting feedback about how the community sees us, but also putting us in front of the community and saying, we're here for you. It was a good two-way exchange.
So what would you recommend to Holy Communion who wants to venture into this for the first time?
I would say you must go boldly. There is nothing about this that's going to really fit in your comfort zone.
Mhm.
Don't worry about it.
Mhm.
It's going to work out.
And I would say, I'm not sure how things evolve at Holy Communion, but at St. Paul's, we do have a bad habit of talking about stuff and planning it and thinking it and rethinking it until sometimes things don't get done. In this particular case, thanks to Julie, she said, let's just do this. Let's just do this. So we organized it pretty darn fast. And I would recommend that for Holy Communion. You're going to get a positive response. Make a sandwich board, print up some cards, suit up, pick your spot, suit up and go. And don't overthink it. Just go. It really is that. The returns were big in the sense that it just felt really good to do it. Like I would say, I'm not sure we changed, people's awareness. Yes, I'm not sure, we gathered our flock, added to our flock really, but it just felt really good. So I would say that, just don't overthink it, do it, and you'll be happy you did.
Great.
I was just going to say it was very joyful for Bill and I to participate in. And the number of smiles and thank yous that we got, I think Julie, I'm trying to recall, it was around 65 people that you ashed.
We're expecting zero.
There were at least 3 times that who just kind of said, hey, thanks for doing this.
Yeah.
That's not bad. That was a lot of people who just kind of said, hey, I'm glad St. Paul's is in our community. Very few of those people, 6 were St. Paul's parishioners.
Mm-hmm.
10%, 90% were not. It was just saying we're here.
Yeah.
And people appreciated that. And that was fantastic.
Yeah, it was really positive. People even this was foot traffic, but people did drive by and come around and park and came out too. So there were people. It was really a draw. And I would say, other say is the communication that we made while Julie was blessing people. Peter and I didn't do anything particularly special other than you put a warm smile on your face and say good morning to people. That's all you do. They are going to come to you if they want ashes to go. And they just will say good morning and keep going if they don't. And it's that simple and it's very positive.
Well, let me try and share this picture. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah. So see, there's Peter. Peter, what you had on, and Bill had the same thing on, of a cassock and surplice. For at St. Paul's, it was what chalice bearers would wear up at the altar. And I think that helped. Yeah, we had our sandwich board. We had our fully robed, there, even the cross. And it felt like we were the church outside, literally. We were as ritualized and symbolized. And that, I think, made it even more accessible to people to come by and chat. And I found you both being there really necessary so that we all had our part to play. And
Yeah, we kind of, people would come up to Bill or I, and we stood on either side of Julie, maybe 15 feet away, and would say, what is this? And we'd say, well, it's Ash Wednesday. If you'd like to receive ashes or blessing, please feel free. And so we kind of acted as a funnel for people coming to Julie. So if they said, oh, well, that's interesting, we'd say, would you like a card with a blessing? And talks about St. Paul's, and they'd say yes or no. And then people who wanted to get blessed, we'd say, well, you know, when Julie's free, make sure that she knows that you're waiting. And so we were kind of able to divide and conquer to a certain extent. We were never, we were rarely kind of staring at each other saying, what now?
Yeah.
We were interacting with people.
Yeah. And I think we were really surprised too, because where we were in Burlingame, California, we weren't sure how a religious organization would be received at all. Yeah.
I mean, we weren't quite evangelizing, but we were in a very, very public place with a religious messaging and certainly garments. And we didn't pick up any bad vibes. I didn't.
Yeah. Would you do it again?
In a heartbeat, Julie.
Wow. Wow.
The only tricky part is getting you back to do it with it. That's the hard part. I don't know if you can get back in time, but we're in.
Well,
oh no, wait, you're going to do it then. Sorry.
Yeah, St. Louis, you've stolen Julie, but I've also moved to Phoenix, Arizona. So
there you can get that going there.
But the concept of taking our faith to the people is so elemental and so powerful and so needed in our environment that I think you'd be hard pressed to say no to it. It's just a great experience and a great idea.
Yeah, thank you.
And it's easy. That's the other thing. I just keep stressing this. It's easy, and it's positive, and it takes a little bit of preparation, and you're done in 90 minutes, and you great start to your day, and then you get on with your own day. It's easy.
Yep. It was, and it was a highlight of my week that week. I was on cloud 9 all week.
And the only thing I say is take a picture of yourselves there, because then you get to show other parishioners that you're there, and that they're thrilled too. Like they think, oh, it's not fun. Like we were out in the world. It's nothing but good.
Yeah, go get them, Holy Communion.
Thank you both so much for reuniting and sharing your experience of this and spreading the love and the joy. I think that the three of us were as converted and renewed in our life in Christ by doing that as anybody else who came by and received ashes. It was certainly a transformative experience, and I'll always remember us doing it. It was great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And dear people of Holy Communion, let's do this. Let's meet up this Sunday. The weather's looking really promising to do outdoor coffee hour about 9 o'clock and debrief what you heard from Bill and Peter and let's plan on how we could offer this to our community. If you are interested, there is a way to sign up and be on the planning, strategizing team. If you're feeling called to this, or you're just curious, or you just want to know more about it, I hope to see you this Sunday, about 9 o'clock, outdoor coffee hour. Let's plan, and please sign up if you're interested.